Where on earth did the water come from? This is by Anne M. Stark, Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. Earth's supply of water is incredibly important for its ability to sustain life, but where did the water come from? Was it present when Earth formed, or was it delivered later by meteorites or comets from outer space? Well, I would say it was delivered from outer space as well, and I'll tell you why after this. Now, the source of Earth's water has been a long-standing debate, and Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory LLNL scientists think they have the answer, and they found it by looking at rocks from the moon. Since the Earth-Moon system formed together from the impact of two large bodies very early in the solar system history, this is a theory, their histories are very much linked, and since the moon lacks plate tectonics and weathering, processes that tend to erase or obscure evidence on Earth, the moon is actually a great place to look for clues to the history of Earth's water. Even though close to 70% of Earth's surface is covered with water, overall the planet is a relatively dry place compared to many other objects in the solar system. And the moon is even drier. Conventional wisdom was that the lack of volatile species such as water on Earth, and particularly the moon, was due to this violent impact that caused depletion in volatile elements. But by looking at the isotopic makeup of lunar rocks, the team found that bodies involved in the impact that formed the Earth-Moon system had very low levels of volatile elements prior to the impact, not because of it. Specifically, the team used the relative amount of the volatile and radioactive isotope rubidium-87, Rb-87, which is calculated from its daughter isotope strontium-87, Sr-87, to determine the budget of Rb in the Earth-Moon system when it formed. The team found that because strontium-87, a proxy for the moon's long-term volatile budget, was so low, the bodies that collided must have both been dry to start with, and not much could have been added since. Earth was either born with water, or we were hit by something that was basically pure H2O with not much else in it. This work eliminates meteorites or asteroids as possible sources of water on Earth and points strongly towards the born with it option, said cosmochemist Greg Brenecka, co-author of the paper. In addition to greatly narrowing the potential source of Earth's water, this work additionally reveals that the large bodies that collided must have both come from the inner solar system, and the event could not have happened prior to 4.45 billion years ago, greatly reducing the formation window of the moon. According to Lars Borg, the lead author of the study, there were only a few types of materials that could have combined to make the Earth and moon, and they were not exotic. They were likely both just large bodies that formed in approximately the same area that happened to run into one another a little more than 100 million years after the solar system formed, but luckily for us, they did just that. This research paper in the Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences from Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, this on phys.org, but I want to tell you concerning what they found back in 2004, from what I remember. They were looking at, they were examining the aurora borealis in the northern hemisphere, and what they sent a satellite up there, over there, and they found that beyond our Earth's magnetosphere, comets were bombarding our atmosphere at the poles, and they were bringing with them tens of thousands of tons of water a day. Now, we're not talking about on our atmosphere, just outside of the magnetosphere. So these comets, they found, are filled with water, and they're bombarding our area outside of our magnetosphere. Obviously, this water somehow is by gravity coming into us. Okay, and we know that, of course, the Earth is growing tremendously every year, the size of a fingernail. We know that in the past millions, billions of years ago, an Earth day lasted only 6 hours. Okay, so, you know, the Earth was smaller and the Earth day was only 6 hours. And this was from prior articles. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.